Hello, it's Eric Polly at erpolly.com. Today, for the last couple months, I've been working on an animated short. For the most part, I've been compiling assets, and I am just now getting to the world building, the building of the world. And for the first scene, I need like an apocalyptic type city fly through that will pause or end, I suppose, on the going into of a building with the camera. So currently I am building that city, so I am running into some complications, as in one would when they are building an entire city. And that's what I'm going to talk about right meow. You say meow? What I said. I show you what I got going on in Blender, but let me explain, because what I got over here I have actually already decided not to use, and I should explain that here momentarily. So this is the first city that I had mocked up in Blender. To create this city, I had, let's see if I can move around for a second. And it doesn't really want to do that, but you can kind of get the idea from this bird's eye view. I started putting some assets around before I even got to um, destroying my city, meaning like adding some damage to these buildings. Is that was the idea with an apocalyptic city. They were nice, clean-looking materials on these buildings. And even with just bare bone materials and roads that really didn't have a whole lot going on to them, just a standard like normal map, maybe a displaced map, something like that. And if you've messed around with Blender, you could probably guess that the poly count on this was through the roof. And I was about to start adding individual details with a very high poly count. So there was going to be a lot of verts every single building, and each building was unique. And I was just starting to add trees and stuff over here, and already Blender was not really wanting to render it. So I immediately was like, okay, well, if it's having a trouble at this point, it is far from done, right? So I decided this is a great city for something that I just need a quick fly through. Maybe I'll decide to take these trees and turn them into a particle system. And if it's just a fly through a city that's like 5 seconds, and all you need to do is pause on a building so you know you're inside that building, storytelling, all that stuff. Great. Then I'll use it for this. For now, I am storing this to the side, and it will not work for my current project. So then I decided I was going to create a building and duplicate it 6 or 7 times with the damage already done to it. This was another setup that I had created and thrown away, because the buildings, first of all, are all the same height. It looks extremely same, like these are like batteries or something plugged into a thing. But that's not what this is supposed to look like. This is supposed to be an apocalyptic city. Now, maybe if this was, I don't know, an N64 days, sure, this would probably pass. You could probably fly through here as Superman or fly around as Spider-Man and hop on buildings. Even then, there would probably be some diversity as far as height and things like that. So I went back to the drawing board, which I could have just taken these buildings out and replaced them with a new collection as a particle system, but I also wanted them to be in a line with each other. So I went back to the drawing board again, and starting over fresh is fantastic, because getting back up to this point was considerably faster. I think I built this entire scene again without these little details. I just used this asset library over here, right? That I have my own pre-made assets over here, and I just started plopping them all over, and then I turned those into a particle system, which I'll probably do again because it seemed to work. It just needs to be a lot more busy, a lot more garbage, things like that. So I learned things and then I applied them. So now I am about halfway to getting back where I was with that last project, but as you can see, the buildings are considerably more diverse. I elongated a set of buildings, so half of them are double length, half of them are going to be turned vertically. That's the right? No, it's horizontally. I don't know. Whatever. You know what I mean. Some of them are turned. So then it gives this nice appearance, even knowing the entire thing is really just particle system consisting of consisting of just these this particular line of buildings. And you'll see some of them are way off. The floor level is designated right here. Perfect. So then there is now a diversity as far as these buildings' height, but I did not have to model individual heights for them. So I re-enable the plane with the particle system. You get the idea pipes that are on an array. And now I'm just going back to creating a new particle system on top of this plane with the buildings already in it. And this new particle system will have garbage. So you kind of get the idea of where I'm at. Maybe let me look really quick and see if I have a rendered image of your file. Click, clackety, click. That's me with mouse. Dog. All right, this is all the rendered stuff I've put together so far. Of here we go. Bangarang. See the image. All right. So that's it. Currently rendered. So you can kind of get an idea. I obviously have taken. There's no material on here. It's just white. So it's a very generic, bland material. These materials right here are probably the one I'm going to place onto it. And I will see if there's going to be some variety. I might do some marble on some of the buildings, but I might not, because it might destroy the illusion that all these buildings are unique. I think a similar color palette will help me stay on my path to an illusion of a apocalypse. So that's where I'm at with that. I started creating the character for the actual scene. I have not started creating the robot. Maybe I will get on in a moment. Time is really the thing, because, you know, this kind of project zaps out your time. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully I will release the actual animated short before the end of the year. Yes.